Hey, what's up, parents, students? This is a resource called About Last Night. We're talking about what happened on Wednesday night in order to inform parents, inform students maybe who missed, and give you the opportunity to disciple your students and kind of talk about what we did last night that might help you as you're discipling your family for the rest of the week in our reading plan. Last night we were in Genesis chapter 29. We're reading Genesis 30 this week, but I covered 29. Dwayne in Sunday school will cover 30, but there's some main characters in 29 that we had to make sure that we're covering to make sure that chapter 30 makes sense. You've got a guy named Jacob. You got a father named Laban. Which is his uncle. Laban has two daughters, Leah and Rachel. Sorry, I get all the names kind of mixed up. If you've been reading and you kind of know what's kind of going on, you kind of know that Jacob is searching for a wife, and as he sees Rachel, and he wants to marry Rachel, and so the dad Laban says, "Hey, I'll give you Rachel if you work for me for 7 years." So Jacob works for Laban for 7 years, and on the wedding night, Jacob thinks that he is going to get Rachel, and Laban is a deceiver and sends his oldest daughter Leah into the room. And so Jacob ends up waking up that morning seeing that it's Leah. So now Jacob is with Leah. He goes to Laban and says, "Hey, you've deceived me," which is, you go back to Esau and Isaac and all that. Jacob kind of, reaping what he sows here. And so basically, long story, he works another 7 years to earn Rachel. So now, I guess the moral of the story is don't be married to multiple people at the same time. And if you have to be married to multiple people at the same time, make sure they're not siblings. So Jacob is married to basically two sisters. And what happens in 29 and in 30 is there is this bitter rivalry because Jacob loves Rachel. But Leah, on the other hand, Leah is like the third wheel. And Leah, we talked about how life isn't fair last night. We said, hey, look, life isn't fair. And if you really look at the story of Leah, she really didn't ask for this. She really didn't, things just kind of happen, right? And so, but Leah tried to find her acceptance in Jacob, and she did everything she could. She thought, because I'm going to have Jacob's kids, that's going to be the thing that's going to make me happy if I can just get Jacob's acceptance. And so, all that being said, you're probably sitting here asking the question, how does this apply to a teenager? The way that we talked about last night was we will seek the world for our acceptance, right? So we'll try to find it in a relationship, in a boyfriend or girlfriend. We'll try to find it in the clothes that we wear. We'll try to find it in hobbies, athletics, sports, extracurriculars. We try to find, and we try so hard for the world to just be the thing that's going to be the thing that gives us that joy, and every single time it robs it, right? We talked about last night how that was you will have joy, like that relationship will give you some joy, that brand new truck will give you some joy, that job's going to give you joy, like for a momentary time. And then eventually it's going to go away because that's not the thing. That's not what you were created for. You were created in the image of God. And so that's really the heart behind what we talked about last night. We really pushed that, trying to get students to answer this question. And the question was, if I just had blank, I'd be content. If I just had blank, I'd be content. Maybe as a parent, you're hearing this video and you understand this cycle as well, right? We look at everybody else and see what everybody else has, and man, if I just had that, then that'd make me happy. If I'd had that, that would make our family more happy. If we could just do this, that would make our family happy, when really our pure joy comes from our relationship with the Lord. And if we put that on top of everything, then everything else is going to work itself out. So we challenge students with that. We ask that question, if I just had blank, I'd be content. And my prayer is that becomes our students' heartbeat is the Lord. The answer to that blank would be the Lord. And so we took some time, let students reflect, really think about it, and then we closed the night out. So kind of a talking point as we go into the week. Maybe you see this. Maybe you see this in your student. You can answer that blank for your student yourself. Maybe you can't. Maybe you talk to your student about it. Say, hey, what is one thing that you think I absolutely cannot live without, right? And that could be a good conversation starter. And then hopefully maybe you can talk about some things in your life too, that, hey, these are some things I feel like I just can't live without. If I could just get this, and it might be a way you could turn that conversation to say, but you know what, ultimately, that's not what's going to bring me the most joy. Jesus is what's going to bring us the most joy, right? You can turn that conversation. So Genesis chapter 29, we're going to be teaching it in chapter 30 this Sunday. Hope it's been a great week for you guys. Looking forward to Sunday worship and looking forward to seeing how God's going to move in your family through this resource. Hope you guys have a great rest of your week. Have a great weekend. I'll see you Sunday.